Hello and welcome to this session on how to use Canvas. Today's topic is the syllabus. So I will actually start my screen sharing here and say that our topic is making the most out of the syllabus. I am Greg, your distance ed coordinator for Summit River College. I'm very excited to have you here, whether you're here live or whether you're watching the recording. This is part one in a 10-part series on Canvas tools, and each of these is focused on a particular tool. So what I'd like to do today is to talk about the syllabus. I've got some slides here to kind of go through, and I include a practice presentation here, and practice slide rather, as part of my presentation. And I'd like to have you actually do that practice on your own end if you can during that, so I'll make sure that I give appropriate time for that. As always with my presentations, feel free to interrupt me at any time with any questions that you have. What I'd like to do is to stay focused on this particular tool of syllabus. Depending on how quickly we go through that, it may not take that long. I'll end the recording, and then I'm happy to talk while we're here together about anything that you'd like to talk about. The tool that we're using is called Confer Now. It is provided by the State Chancellor's Office. It's free for those of us in California community colleges. And it is actually integrated with Canvas as well, so that you can actually use this with students. It is what you see as web conferencing. And so it includes a video connection. The clients that the end user installs is pretty light, so it's a small program. It's easy to install, and it does include screen sharing, as you're actually seeing right now. There's a chat. There's also a whiteboard tool. The one thing that this tool does not include yet is an automatic way to schedule someone to take a live captions during the event. Although what I'm going to do with this recording that I'm making is put it on the web, and I'll have it captioned by our friends at 3C Media Solutions, which is also a state-funded thing. So again, feel free to interrupt me with questions at any time. I've got some slides to run through, and then I'll do some demonstration as well. So the Canvas syllabus, I have that word there in quotation marks because syllabus is a reserved word by Canvas. It is the name of a tool that is always visible on the course navigation menu. I've got a screenshot there showing that's the word syllabus highlighted, a screenshot from a class. And so we know what a syllabus is in our classes, so it's appropriate to put our syllabus on this page. So the course navigation menu is something that every class has, and the instructors, so we have control over which of those links appear, which of those links are visible to our students. We have some ability to add additional links to the course navigation, but basically each of those navigation links points to a particular tool in Canvas. The next session in the series, which is focused on modules, I'll be talking about how best to organize the material in our class. But again, syllabus is one of those links on course navigation. The syllabus basically includes two things that are apparent on this page. One is the description. So there's a field called the description field. And inside the description, you can put text, you can format the text, you can add links out, you can embed videos or files. And I'll be showing a video embed in when I do a demonstration. And then also on the syllabus field, on the syllabus page, is an automatically generated course calendar with all the assignments as well included on that. So I think I've got some screenshots for that coming up. So the description, again, that's the first part of the syllabus. That's always at the top of the page. My suggestion is to include a few words and perhaps a course banner in the description for the syllabus. That's what I've got in the screenshot here. And then also to take advantage of the inline file preview. So Canvas, a variety of file types, including PowerPoint, Word, PDF, will display a preview of the file inline, so students don't have to download the file before they look at it. And so, of course, our syllabuses, right, those documents that we hand out to our students will be several pages. I was doing a workshop last week, and I asked, and someone said she had a 20-page syllabus, which I think is really long. You don't want to have us 20 pages, right, fill up your web page, because that'll make for a really long web page. But however long your syllabus is, you can collapse it to this single line, which you can see here on the screenshot. And the single line, the students can click on that little icon there that looks like a page with a magnifying glass in front of it. And they can click on that to expand it within the web page window. And they can, of course, download it if they want to. And so that's what I'm talking about when I say inline file preview, to take advantage of that. Any questions on that so far? The inline file preview in the description?
No.
Okay. The second part of the syllabus page, again, the syllabus is a tool, and so there's a page that we can't change the structure of. There's a description. We can put whatever we want inside that. And at the bottom of the page, underneath the description, automatically is a calendar and assignments list. So everything that's on the course calendar is put there automatically, and that includes all assignments. So whether the assignments have a due date or not, those are all listed on the assignments page. And then in addition to the assignments, whether they have a due date, you can add additional events. So in this screenshot we have here, you can see that I have most of the items of my course calendar are assignments. You see the due dates automatically put there. And then I added a couple of events. One of them is the Canvas Clatch. So let me do some, oops. Let me do some annotating here. This is some of the tools that are included in this Confer Now tool. So I have an event here called the Canvas Clatch. That's what I'm calling the office hours in my fully online class on how to use Canvas. And then also in this class for my discussions, I had a Unit 1 discussion, right? So I had the Unit 1 discussion was due Thursday at 11 p.m., but part of the assignment was to reply to classmates. And because Canvas can't do differential due dates in the calendar or differential due dates for an assignment, I went ahead and I created a manual calendar event to remind students that the replies were due a couple of nights later after the first posts were due. So again, on the Canvas calendar, you can add additional events, whether that's things like office hours for an online class or for a face-to-face class. You can also add events that are related events that are on campus. I know, for example, in my classes, I know that every semester we have a drawing for a gift certificate to the bookstore. So I want to make sure that my students are aware of that. Even though it's on the campus calendar, I like to make sure that I put that on my my course calendar as well. Any questions about the calendar?
No.
Okay. Okay, I realize that my annotations are still there. Okay, so this basically is the practice time, and so I will do a demonstration of this, and basically it's to edit a syllabus description and upload a syllabus file. I think that my page is not visible, so I'm going to stop my share and then resume my share. So what I did there was I shared a window and not a desktop. I'm sorry, yeah, I shared a program window and not a desktop. And I should have shared my desktop instead, because I would have this open here. So I've created a course here. This is an empty class, a sandbox on the Los Rios server. It's called Webinar in Canvas, so I'll be using that throughout this series. And today's focus is on the syllabus. As I mentioned before, the course navigation there is on the left. These links are the links that are there by default. Any link that is gray means that the link is empty of material and or that it cannot be seen by students. So right now, the syllabus link is visible by default. So if I click on that, I can see that I have an empty syllabus, right? You see assignment summary, there's nothing there. That's the course calendar. It's refreshing right now. I can see that it's empty. And then the course syllabus, it kind of comes with a default description at the top. So I'll click on the edit button. So for the syllabus description, I'll just put a few words on my course. Welcome to History 312. So I'm just going to write a few words here. We will cover so I might want to include something in the description on what the course covers. And I'm going to just put some bullet lists here. This is what we learn in history classes: memorize, analyze, and synthesize. Okay. So I'm going to take advantage again of the inline file, and I'm going to upload my syllabus. So what I'm looking at right here basically is the rich content editor for Canvas. This is ubiquitous throughout just about every Canvas tool. The buttons across the top are the formatting toolbars. There are some extra tools that we can add stuff. When I get into content, I'll talk a little bit more about this. That's in a couple of sessions from now. But I do want to share that you can copy and paste formatted text into here. And you can also add all kinds of multimedia. What I want to do right now is I'm going to embed that file. And so the way to do that is I give myself an insertion point. And on the right side of the page is what's called a content selector. So there's a dialog here where I can select links to other tools inside my class. I can insert images or grab images from my local computer. There's another button in the toolbar that will do that. But I'm focused on files here because I want to upload and add my syllabus to this class, my actual syllabus file. So I will click on the Files tab. And then you can see there's a folder. Where do I want to upload it? I could create a folder if I wanted to. That's in the Files tool, but I'm going to just upload a new file. I will choose a file, and you should see a gray box on your screen because I don't have this other window showing, but this is my local computer. I'm going to go find a syllabus for my history class, and let's pull that up. Okay, so when I select the file, it happens to be a PDF file. I'll click the Open button, and so you'll see the name of the file, right? It's now, it's truncated on the right side there. And, oops, I selected it and I unchose it. Let's select that again. It's truncated there on the right side of the page. And then I will click the Upload button. And because I use the content selector on the right side there, a link to my syllabus now appears inside my syllabus description. Notice that it grabbed the file name itself. So you can see the file name. I kind of crunched a bunch of letters together. I'm going to go ahead and edit this link name so it's a little bit friendlier for my students. Syllabus for History 312. Okay. And I'm going to click the Update Syllabus button. And when I do, the page refreshes, and I basically see what my students see. It does take a few seconds, as you may have noticed, for that page preview icon to appear. And so now my students can click on, again, they can click on the link of the file if they want to download it, or they can click on the preview the document button. And when they click on that, it opens up within this web page a preview of the syllabus file. And inside that preview, if there are any links to the file, they are live. Again, this works with, let's see if I click on that, it does open in a new browser window. So that's a link to my textbook for that class that semester. And again, it's a PDF file in this case, so my students could print it out if they want to. They can also minimize the file preview. What I like about using that file preview, especially for the syllabus tool, is that it does not hide that assignment summary, that automatically generated calendar at the end of, I'm sorry, does not hide it below the fold, in effect, below at the bottom of the page. So I know that my students will be able to see this. And so as I am, whether I'm using quizzes, even if I'm just putting due dates for assignments inside my calendar, or adding grade items with those due dates, those assignments will appear on this list, and they'll actually be clickable so that my students could click on the assignment and go directly to get the information about that. So that's why, again, I like to upload the syllabus as a file that is embedded and previewable by students. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like the other way so you can see the difference. So why don't I quickly open up my local computer, and I'm going to go back to that same location, and I think I had that same syllabus file there as a Word document. That would make a lot of sense. I don't see it there, so I'm going to open it as a PDF file. And so I'm going to basically select all, copy. Okay, so again, to kind of show you what this looks like, if I edit the syllabus, what I could do instead, why don't I go ahead and leave that link there so we can do that comparison, is I'll just paste my entire syllabus inside this box. So if I scroll all the way to the top, it does look like that it did not grab the formatting from PDF. So it would have grabbed the formatting from Microsoft Word. Anyway, so I have my syllabus here. There's my class title, my contact information. I can talk about academic integrity. I'm seeing grade lists is there. Okay, all that kind of stuff. Why don't I go ahead and update the syllabus? And now, from my students' perspective, look how long this web page is. So they have to scroll all the way through that. There's my course calendar before they get to the assignment summary, which is there at the bottom of the page. Again, this is empty right now because I don't have any Canvas events put in. And so I hope that this demonstration shows you a good example of why you might decide just to upload that PDF file or Word document or PowerPoint instead of copying and pasting and filling the entire page with it. Okay. So I'm going to edit. And I'm going to undo all that stuff I just did. There's no undo button here since I've already saved the change, but I can select it all and say, welcome to okay. Okay. Any questions on that item working with the syllabus?
No.
Okay. So we've finished this. Actually, it was a pretty quick session. I'm going to stick around, however, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording because I do want to have the recordings at least focused on each of these tools. So I will say thank you for attending and or watching this session on how to use Canvas. This was part 1 of 10, making the most out of the syllabus. Part 2 of 10 is focused on modules, which is a good way to organize the material, all of the material in a Canvas class.